This is our final edition, our final installment of our Countdown to Camp series. Sidney Jones, Eric Lyle, I'm Phil Milani here in studio. One last burning question heading into Broncos camp here is, have the Broncos done enough this offseason to finally, after a 5-year drought, get back into the playoffs? Eric, yes or no?
Well, I think you're going to be battling for that final, maybe the 6th or 7th wild card spot. I think that right now the Chiefs are too good to conceivably push them for, they're going to be right there in the mix for the top seed again. I think the Broncos need to get back in the playoff mix before you talk about that as a goal. But there's going to be several teams that are kind of jockeying for those final spots. So you talk about teams like the Chargers, like the Dolphins, the Broncos, maybe the Steelers and Patriots, even the Ravens. I mean, those are kind of the teams in the wild card mix. And I look at it and I think you've got to start off the year really well. Probably 3-0 against teams. You've got the Giants, Jaguars, and Jets to start the year. I think that group of teams that also includes Philly, Detroit, Cincinnati, you might have to win 5 or 6 of those 6 games and then kind of split the toss-ups, which I think are Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Washington, that type of team, and then steal 1 or 2 against a team like the Chiefs, Chargers on the road. So not going to be easy, but I do think you're going to have a chance there at the end of the year as you go into those final 3 division games to earn a playoff spot.
AFC is very tough this season. I mean, some of the top teams in the whole NFL are playing on the AFC side. The Broncos need to get off to a hot start. We know this. They have not won a game under Vic Fangio in the month of September. You can't get into a big hole like that and then expect to bounce back and make the playoffs. Sydney, what do you think?
Well, looking at the schedule, I think we're going to finish 8 and 9. And, looking at the teams who made the playoffs last year, I don't know if that record's really going to cut it. And I think the Chiefs are going to win the division again. So for us to make the playoffs, obviously we have to get a wild card. And I think about the teams who clinched wild card spots last year in the AFC. I think about the Colts, the Browns, the Ravens.
Yeah, those teams have added a lot of players this offseason too. Every team getting better. One thing we do know, though, every year one of those top teams, one of those slam dunk picks, for some reason falls off a little bit, and then one team that hasn't made the playoffs in a while really rises up. Could that be the Broncos?
I think it's definitely possible with as good as this defense could be, and then if you see a step forward at the quarterback position, this offense should be much improved. And so even if you don't have a top 10 offense, even getting to between 15 and 20, I think it would be a great move forward, would probably let the Broncos take a step forward in the win column. And listen, part of this is we don't really know what the playoff picture is going to look like because of this 17th game. So in the past, you would kind of say 9 and 7, 10 and 6, that's probably going to get it done. Now, will 9 wins still get it done? Are you going to have to get to 10? Will you have to get to 11? And so when I look at the schedule, I think 9 wins are there. I think you can even stretch it to 10 or 11, but that's where it gets tricky and should make the final month of the season exciting, is that we just don't know how the standings are going to play out.
This roster is really good. There's a lot of playmakers on this Broncos team. The defense has certainly been revamped this offseason. It might just come down to if they get good enough quarterback play.
I completely agree, Phil. I think we have an extremely talented team and would love to see us make the playoffs, but I think it will come down to that quarterback play.
It's been a while. Playoffs would be nice, huh?
Yeah. Would be very nice.
You know what, I think at the very minimum, if those last couple of games in December, if they really count for something, and there's an excitement in the air where, hey, win this, here we're involved in the mix. It's been a while since, it was a couple of years ago, the Broncos were 6-6 to start December. If they could just be back in that same kind of position, that would make the end of the season exciting, and maybe you win a game here, steal a game there, you sneak into the playoffs. All right. The grass is being mowed out there. The lines are being painted. Broncos camp finally here, just in a couple of days away. All right, that's going to do it for our Countdown to Camp series. Hopefully you've enjoyed our takes on the biggest question mark heading into training camp. For Sidney Jones, Eric Lyle, I'm Phil Milani.